Hi there. So I got super sick over the weekend. I was supposed to just read Cruel Prince by Holly Black with my book club, and then I finished the trilogy. So this isn't a review of the Cruel Prince. This is a review of the entire Folk of Air series by Holly Black. So what happened was I was super sick in bed. So as soon as I finished Cruel Prince, I picked up The Wicked King, and then I finished Queen of Nothing within a day and a half afterward. So let's talk about storylines. So Cruel Prince. So basically, you have three sisters. We're following Jude as our main character. Oldest sister is Vivi, who is half fairy, half human, and then there's Jude and Taryn, who are twins. The prologue. The prologue is basically they're hanging out at home in the mortal world, right? And then Maddox, this fairy general, who's also Vivi's biological dad, comes in, murders unalives the mom and the dad, and takes all the children and raises them as fae in the fairy world. We're off to a great start. So we have a massive cast of characters. Most important ones are Carden, who is basically our love interest, and also our enemies to lovers interest, quote unquote, for Jude, our main character. We also have Maddox's wife, who I'm already blanking on her name, it starts with an O. His son, Oak, which is I can't explain any more about Oak. And there are also various classmates that are also going to this fairy school that Jude, Taryn, and Vivi attend, including Nicassia, who's basically like the mermaid princess, Locke, who's kind of like Loki, but not a good Loki at all, and Valerian, who's basically Ares incarnate. Yeah. So at some point, Jude ends up getting enlisted into the Court of Shadows. So she ends up becoming an assassin and a spy for a particular fairy prince. I'm not going to give his name because it will end up showcasing spoilers later. But she does end up becoming an assassin and a spy, which she ends up using those skills on a very regular basis throughout the three books. The end of the first book happens and shit goes to hell. I had, honestly, personally, had a very hard time getting through Cruel Prince to begin with. Prologue was great. And then all of a sudden, it was a lot of world building to, like, explain how the Fae exist and, like, how they live their lives, their customs, etc. So it was a lot of story building and behind the scenes. And on top of the fact that it was in present tense and 90% of what I read is in past tense. But it's still a really, really good read. So, Cruel Prince, 4 out of 5. Wicked King, 4 out of 5. Queen of Nothing, 10 out of 10, 15 out of 10. It was amazing. And now I have to read the rest of the series. Okay, bye.